This Thundercast show to me.
No, start the podcast. We'll talk about it.
Hello and welcome to the Black Mind Podcast. Jeff's here, along with Josh. Hi, Josh.
Yep.
Episode
Hi,
149.
149.
Yeah, and I'm here too.
Can we talk about the
ever-present?
Yeah, can we talk about an important topic about Thundercats is whether or not they have 6 tits or not?
Well, it's confirmed that they do.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Because I mean,
this looks like some
important question there.
This looks like some really Japanese anime-esque stuff to me. That's what I'm seeing here.
The 2012 one.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's fucking phenomenal. Apparently,
it's not like He-Man.
Glorious.
It's not like He-Man 2000, which was like everyone has a character arc. And everyone's like, He-Man 2000 was good.
Single season. So just remember that. Compare it to that.
What, He-Man?
No, Thundercats 2012.
Yeah. I don't know. Thundercat 2012 was okay. I never really liked He-Man though.
He-Man was weird. I mean, it depends on which He-Man you're looking at, either the original or even the new one. It's just the concept. The original concept is just like, wow, you can tell this is from the 80s because they're just throwing shit at the wall. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. Kids don't care. They're stupid.
It was, but it was so crazy and stuff like that. There's actual character arcs for each of the characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I watched the original He-Man and I was like, oh my god, this is so much better. Because Skeletor is just
I'm your uncle. What?
What?
Yeah. Anyways, we should move on to a topic. Fuck Corsair. Corsair was a bunch of fuckers.
Whatever. I don't care. This is a topic that I'm going to have little to nothing to say about.
Me too, because I don't think I've bought a single Corsair anything for the past how many years?
Well, aren't you smart?
Oh, I mean, it just comes down to hey, I'm upgrading some new parts, and that's never Corsair ever. It's always some other company, so it's kind of decided for me anyways.
I don't know. I'm just mad.
I'm
mad.
Don't worry, they're dying a slow death, I'm sure.
Corsair's not dying a slow death. Corsair is a fantastic company and stuff like that. It's just their products are shit and fail for me all the time.
Constantly. I'm sure.
I remember looking at the reviews and seeing one that's a couple that said failed right out of the box for me, and I was like, that will never happen for me, and then they failed right out of the box for me, and I'm hoping I'm an idiot. I'm going to yell at Memory Express tomorrow and be like, computer broke.
Did I ever...
And hopefully the cute lady will feel sad for me and be like, eh.
Lucky for me, I never had a product. Well, I'm sure I had something.
No, because you'll just call me and you'll be like, this is broken.
I'll call you or even call another buddy of mine who's probably just as tech savvy as you. But at the same time, it's I don't think I've ever had a product that was just fail right out of the box. Although I did have a buddy of mine who's tech savvy and has his own Twitch stream shit. He got himself some just giant high def monitors at one time, and it just giant, hugest things ever. And I was like, dude, these are really expensive. And he's like, yeah, they are. I bought 5 of them over a course of like 6 months. And he's like, why? Because he kept finding dead pixels in the fucking monitor screen. So he kept returning them back and getting new ones. It's like, that's wow.
Yeah. No, the funny thing is when you, I love the fact when I know people who can find dead pixels in a screen and they just point them out to you. It's actually funny.
Yeah. I'm kind of. The funny thing is that once they do, you're like, oh man, I have to get a new monitor now. Even though it's perfectly fine, you probably won't even notice at all. But you're like, oh shit.
I knew somebody. They saw one of my monitors. Like this was before I got my like cool new souped up computer. This was when when monitors with like dead pixels weren't like really common at a time because like they were still so new that you couldn't notice them when they were happening. And he sat down, he looked at my screen, you got fucking dead pixels. And he just like got really mad because they weren't like in one small spot, like up in a corner, like you normally find them. They were like dotted across the screen and like, and apparently like he started pointing them out to me and I started noticing. I'm like, Dad, we gotta get a new monitor. He's like, why? It's like, and then I point out the dead pixels to him. He's like, I'm not gonna be able to see that either. And we got a new monitor the next day.
Like, how did you not even see those in the first place? Will that be pretty evident?
Because it wasn't like huge numbers of them. It was like 1 or 2 dead pixels, and then to be like perfectly fine in like a huge area. So it'd be spread out across the computer, like 1 or 2 dead pixels, 1 or 2 dead pixels, 1 or 2 dead pixels, all across the screen. But like it was so spread out that like if you weren't paying attention, if you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't see it.
Huh.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Usually, I'm probably not going to be the person who's going to ever notice that type of crap. But it's like, I just hope that if I do find one, it'd be smack dab bottom corner, and I notice because the color changes didn't change or something. But if I had to upgrade to new monitors, I hope I just don't like get into that problem for no reason, for whatever reason.
Oh, I just learned something else today. Also, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah, replacing monitors. Like I want to get a G-Skill or a G-Sync monitor because I'm
You're a power user.
Well, I want to get 3 monitors. I want to get a monitor for something involving computers, that I want to get a monitor for drawing, and I want to get a monitor for being a terrible shit online.
For me, it's monitor for porn, and then maybe a monitor for production use.
Yes. You have a porn addiction.
Weird porn addiction, but a porn addiction, yes.
Yeah, okay, we need to talk about that and get you some help.
That's fine, guys. It's fine.
Have you heard of happy endings, Joss?
What? No, guys, it's fine. I'm just gonna lock the door.
We're gonna take you to get a massage. You're gonna have a happy ending.
Oh boy.
Or in the best case, an M. Night Shyamalan.
God damn.
If you do not get the reference, let me explain to you. Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I know.
I couldn't resist.
Oh, God damn it, Jeff.
You're like, this is...
Excuse me.
Okay. We have one other comment. We have one news topic that will probably get a lot of people fret up. Josh, talking about your porn, you will no longer be able to buy visual novels on Steam.
Oh, you're talking about Honey Pop.
Honey Pop recently got censored.
Not only did it get censored, it's going to be getting taken down. And I'm like,
yeah.
Why though?
The funny thing is like, why now and not before? And is it because someone at Steam got a hissy fit or something, or someone pointed out something? Like, there's no distinct lines in the sand of like, this is good, this is not.
It's so from what I'm seeing right now, it's due to some U.S. like fuckery going on. So Honeypop Dev basically said it's due to it's due to what I'm guessing some Congress bill that's going through right now. They're being reactionary. So it might not be a big issue, but that's what it's looking like.
So what's the bill? Can't sell porn?
I guess so. I guess they don't want minors getting porn, which makes sense. I mean, minors should not have access to stuff like Honeypop, where you can look at naked anime titties.
Well, don't you have to get a patch to get the anime titties anyways?
You have to get a mod, actually.
Yeah.
You have to get a mod in order to get the anime titties.
Like,
I think that, like, and the other thing, too, is that, like, I'm going to explain to you guys, have you heard of the game? Jeff Gerstmann talked about it on the Giant Bomb cast, and I literally went, this is fucking crazy. There's two games that right now, there is VR Kanjo, which is basically porn. And then there's another one called Nutkaku Sexbot Quality Assurance Simulator.
I mean, you got to make sure the Sexbot works.
You have to make sure the Sexbot works, yes. Clearly.
You don't want a dead Sexbot. That's not very good out of the box there. It's just cold, limp. You don't want that. You want a warm, energetic, alive.
Yeah.
You don't want to fuck a corpse. You don't want to fuck a corpse.
You don't want to fuck a corpse. But like it's just, I don't know. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I think I've heard of discussions too, talking about like the games he was like checking out because VR, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with those games being off Steam.
I'm a little indifferent because like
I'm kind of indifferent too.
There are some games that are on Steam that are like they are hard on Steam that you can like in some of the preview images you can see like sexual objects in it, and they're not being taken down. Whereas Honeypop actually is like, no, you have to actually get the mod or a upgraded version to unlock the ability to see the the titties, the tatas.
I just the thing I'm going to sit here and say is that, like, look, it's not instant and stuff like that, but there are some visual novels on there which I will literally sit there and say, like, no, they don't. They're clogging up the marketplace.
Yeah,
and that's my thing. Is like something like Honeypop. I think is collateral damage. Whereas like something like Sakura Clicker, or Sakura Angels, or Sakura Blah, or Sakura something. I don't know what it's called.
I like Sakura something. That was a good one.
That was a great one.
That was a very good one.
Yeah.
Never compared to Blah.
Yeah, never compared to Blah. It's just like these things are not the same as like other games. And I just don't think that they belong on the biggest market on the planet. I know that people are going to disagree with me on it. I actually hope that people disagree with me on this. But I just don't think that, like, you need 28,000 visual novels on Steam. Like, let me see. My God, it actually shows me, like, really stupid things. Let's look and see if visual novels come up. Visual.
For me, my marketplace, like ever since they have the filtered options for the marketplace, it's like I just don't see that shit ever.
Yeah. It's just like you have 32 pages of this stuff. And it's just like, why?
And counting.
Yeah. It's like, why?
I mean, well, I'm sorry, I'm not commenting much. I'm enthralled by videos that I recently found out about, and I will talk about those later. But like for me, like a big thing for me with like the hammer coming down on Honeypop is it's not going to be like broad strokes against a bunch of fucking visual novels. It's just against like Honeypop.
It's also against what is the other one that everyone's crying about on KIA, because KIA tends to be kindred spirits on the roof regarding recent inquiries is regarding recent things, and tropical liqueur is also getting changed and possibly removed by the end of the month. I don't know. I think that what's probably going to happen is that you're probably going to see another website pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
I honestly,
I think there already is a website. I remember one for just adult games, but I can't remember what the fuck the name is or anything. But I know one exists.
Well,
I'm sure there's more.
here's the thing about like a lot of these visual novel videos games. None of them are like obscenely over the top with like their like adult content or like material. They're like actually
None of them have-
surprisingly tame.
none of them have human centipede-esque things going on in them.
Ugh, please don't talk about human centipedes.
None of them have massive amount of bondage going on in them either.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if you found a few that had some.
None of them are like 50 Shades of Grey. As long as it's not 50 Shades of Grey, we're okay.
All I'm thinking is that shitty movie that I've seen seen a movie review show about that movie, and it's like hearing them talk about it, it's like, wow, that's the most disappointing shitty movie I have ever heard. Because if you think 50 Shades of Grey is going to be a movie, you think you want to be porn, because that's the idea. It's practically porn, and it's not. So why watch it? It's like, why? It's terrible.
I just like how like a group of individuals are now claiming responsibility for causing this change. And it's like, no, it's probably not because of this, you guys. Also, every media outlet's like immediately really surprised that Valve is doing this authoritarian media thing, but it's like, no, it's not surprising.
It's
This is actually something. This is something we all looked at and we're like, yeah, we saw this coming.
although the one thing yeah,
it wasn't. It needed to happen.
yeah.
I don't 100% agree with that, but whatever.
Same thing
Well, okay. You would have liked it where it was still a free marketplace and stuff like that.
It's not that. It's less that. It's more. I feel it wasn't necessary because like all these things have like child filters and all that stuff on them. So like I still have my system set up so that I like when I access a game that is mature or related to adult content and stuff like that includes like the textual titles of sexual content, nudity and stuff like that, I still get the pop-up of like, are you sure you want to view this? Or I have to put my age in. I still have that set up on my entire account. It's not something you can delete, get rid of very easily. Additionally, with the most of these visual novels, though, a lot of them are produced in Japan or with like Japanese companies here in like North America, which means like for the most part, like what's the worst thing that's going to happen with them is just like what you're going to have some. Let's say a kid gets a hold of one. Well, what's the worst thing if that kid's old enough to get fucking Steam on his own? Fuck it, let him have it. Because he's at that point.
Well,
he's at that point in the age where he's probably like 14, 15, and he's gonna be fucking looking for that online anyways.
Okay, you want to know what everyone's thinking it is? They're thinking it's the Washington State. They're thinking it's the Washington State tax. Or the pornographic thing that they recently said, where Washington State says you have to do something in order to do this. And like
can't let the kids be getting the porns.
Well, like it's not. It's just.
Even though I was looking for porns when I was 14 in the fucking yard, the forest, digging around with a shovel.
You know what? Like, here's the thing: is like, you know what? Censorship's always bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone agrees on that.
But at the same time, it's like I don't want to see someone's head being blown off on TV. So it's like comes to a point of like, well, there should be some, but not all the time.
It's more of I have no problem with censorship in ways. I have no problem with like, well, children's TV shouldn't be television shows and like products shouldn't be like it shouldn't be visceral violence. It shouldn't include things like swearing or sexual content. It shouldn't include that kind of stuff.
It shouldn't have, like, a children's television show should not have Adolf Hitler blowing somebody's brain out.
Yeah.
It should not have basically cat Satan and stuff like that.
I mean, that would be the best show ever. But I
mean,
agree,
that
it's
is
not a
SWAT
kid show.
cats. Yeah, but it's like it's like stuff like that should not be the case. But like, we're not. It's happening.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be really surprised when it happens, and then you can't complain when it does happen. I don't know.
Oh, can we talk about how companies are changing their loot box strategies to being like, hey, we don't have loot boxes anymore. There's a lot of them doing that. There's a lot of them.
Actually, a big thing for me which would be like fucking awesome, in my personal honest opinion, is if loot boxes just went away and never came back.
I think if the laws go through, yeah, they're gonna be dead and never come back.
So here's my thing is that I'm fine with loot boxes when they're done well and I can easily avoid them.
Yeah, no. I agree. Like a good example being as much as
Overwatch.
As much as I don't like Overwatch.
Yes. You could also point to Halo 5's rec packs. You can also point to Gears of War. You can point to games where it was not there constantly and stuff like that. And then you get stuff like Bungie and Destiny 2. Fuck Destiny 2.
Bungie's really bad for it, actually. It's like...
And then you get to Call of Duty, and it's like... And then you get to the big one, Battlefront 2, and you're like, man... Like,
why though?
why did you do this? I would say that the thing though with Destiny 2 is that Warmind's pretty good, but yeah.
Well, okay. Here's the thing about like with Overwatch for me is Overwatch loot boxes aren't gambling so much as the problem they have is there's no in-game currency to like or like no in-game way to like purchase loot boxes and like get like cut down on the chances of you getting like duplicates and stuff like that easily. Whereas in like a good example, League you have to pay for skins, but you can like earn enough points where you can just go, oh look, I've unlocked this free loot box that might give me a random skin, and that's it. Whereas you can just straight up go out and like I'm just gonna purchase this skin. And that's the difference. Is it's Blizzard has been getting me fucking frustrated more and more because like apparently they've banned the words LMAO, sucks, and a ton of other things, and I'm like, oh.
They banned LFMO.
No, LMAO.
LMAO.
Laughing my ass off, and I'm like, why though? And it's like, get good, and I'm like, they've also banned GG.
Who?
Blizzard.
Overwatch.
Oh. Apparently they've banned.
That's because they're stupid. That's because 90% of the people that play Overwatch are like, I don't know what this means. Thus, like, it means something bad. I'm like, let me tell you about this.
It turns out a lot of normies play video games now, and that's kind of a bad thing.
It turns out that when you have an established culture and then you try to explain it to people and then they reject it and then say that, no, you're offensive repeatedly, that things don't go as well as you think they will.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's almost as if, like, you know, the problem isn't gamers. The problem is,
normies.
All of these people who sit there and say, like, yeah, I'm a gamer.
Normies.
And then you're like, okay, what video games do you play? Oh, I play Overwatch.
Kill all the normies?
And then you go, no, don't kill the normies. Josh, we need the normies so that they can come to our house and build our house and fix the walls.
Oh, right.
Or they can come to the house and remove a tree.
Or we can kill them in video games, make us feel better about ourselves.
We need the normies there just to be give us money.
Like,
and so we can mock them horribly. No, like what the problem is right now is that like it's not normies. It's not people like
People
like
trying
little
to accommodate
Timmy.
for normies.
No, it's not that time of people. It's the people who come in and they're like, "I'm such a gamer." Like, "Oh my god, I'm such a gamer." And you're like, "What game do you play?" "Oh, I play Peggle."
I play
And then you're like,
Solitaire.
"Oh, I play Solitaire." And it's like, you're not a gamer. Like, I'm sorry, you're not. You don't understand what that word means.
Oh my god! Like,
this is like a divisive topic, but like it's like no.
Did you know that Overwatch does not censor the word wanker?
Of course it doesn't.
Because Tracer says it, and somebody actually is like, no, wanker is a British term for somebody who's contemptible, and somebody who like 2 British people respond, it's like, no, wanker is a man who's touching himself in public, and the person who responded is like, oh, and it's like, yeah, she says that in game. Fuck you, Blizzard.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
It's not.
We're English.
Everything about
We're a company in the States. We don't know what this means.
it's almost as if that bad things happen, and then you sit there and you go, well, yeah.
Oh boy.
It's like, wow, like everything sucks.
Everything sucks.
Yeah, everything does suck.
I agree.
Let's move on.
Yeah. I don't know. Move on to looking at paint dry on the wall.
I like looking at paint dry on the wall.
It's so
It's
entertaining.
more entertaining than playing Overwatch.
Yeah, I have not jumped back into Overwatch at all.
I have decided that Overwatch and me need to take a 6-month break. And I also need to ban this guy called the Raven King.
Raven King.
For some, yeah, I'm looking at my other server.
Holy shit! Actually,
I haven't played Overwatch in like a month, and it's great. No, actually, no. I booted it up once and then did okay, and I just haven't cared.
Me too.
I just stopped.
I can't care.
Before I did, now I'm like, wow, I just don't give a shit anymore. Wow, this is a great feeling. Uninstall.
I'm actually going to be uninstalling it myself here in a bit, because like, well, here's the thing though, like with what's it called?
Overwatch.
Not Overwatch. With like a lot of the Blizzard games, like I like Heroes of the Storm. I will freely admit that it's a bad League style game, but you know what? It's still fun to play. Overwatch sucks because, well, I had this argument with somebody. I actually pointed out I don't feel like the meta stabilizes enough, and somebody tried to argue it's like, well, the meta gets too stale quick, and I'm like, that's not the problem there, because the meta is changing every 4 months. There's no consistent meta over the course of 3 months. Like you can't like build a competitive scene off of that kind of change. Like you want stability for a competitive market. You don't want like huge sweeping changes every 3 months, which is what happens in Overwatch.
It just feels as if like Blizzard is way too reactionary. It's the exact same problem they have with like 90% of the things. 90% of the things that they do isn't censored. Should not be saying GG is censored.
Oh, that's not even GG. It's GG. GG
easy.
That's censored. And I'm like, if that's toxic behavior, then fuck, man. They should go play League.
GG easy.
GG
like
in my opinion, GG easy is like the tamest thing. If that is considered fucking what's it called?
I actually
considered
Considered
jeez, what's
toxic.
like if that's considered toxic, thank you. If that's considered toxic, man, oh dude, there are so many more ways I could fuck with people with that, like in just like with my keyboard. That's not including
it's
like
so
my
easy.
it's so easy. It's like, yeah, oh man, that kill was as easy as fucking your mom last night. Did like it's, like that's like like I get that, like I agree. Like there are some trash talk that is like a bit over the top and a bit like unnecessary. I will freely admit that. But
Well, like,
trash talk is part of this game, and if you consider trash talk fucking toxic, oh dude, go hang yourself with that statement.
well, it's like the thing I would always do in League is I would always just mute everyone except for my team.
Well, even actually no, I don't mute anybody in League. Actually no, I mute team players or players who don't know when to shut up. Because I like to because that's the thing is like I don't mind people like in chat when they start shit talking, but like you can tell they're just shit talking because like they want to shit talk. But there's a point where it's like, oh look, I'm shit talking and I'm literally just doing nothing but shit talking during the game, and I'm like, well, that's where you just stop it.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Not really. Like I know a lot of people consider like, oh my god, I actually love the fact that everybody's like Overwatch's game league is fucking toxic, and I just sat there and I'm like, no, it isn't. It's actually like one of the nicest communities out there that I know of. Like,
Overwatch has a lot of problems though. Like Overwatch is like Bronze League and stuff like that, just filled with a bunch of tryhards.
everyone's a bunch of fucking tryhards.
The thing I'm going to sit here and say is that Overwatch, though, like will do drastic changes, and they don't tend to fix problems.
No, they don't.
Like Hanzo is a really big issue.
Hanzo's being
And
reworked.
Hanzo is actually being reworked, which is kind of interesting. But they also are like, oh, like Symmetra's fine, and it's like, no, she's not. And it's like, no, she's fine. It's like
she's really not.
she's strong. And if you have a player who plays her, you can shut down a point very quickly.
Yeah. On top of that, considering how her weapon works in game, if she's like fine, fuck man, like, like a good example is like, okay, well, Symmetra's thing is it builds up attack. It builds up the power of its attack over the course of like while you're firing. How is that balanced? And it scales up to like 200 times % damage, and that just gets huge.
That's hilarious.
But no, Hanzo needed to be reworked because nobody liked playing against Scatter Arrow, even though Scatter Arrow was good for dealing with like rushing. What's it called?
Rushing people in caves.
Rushing attackers or offense champions. Like Hanzo, that's the thing with Hanzo. Like he wasn't an anti-tank champion. He was an anti-attacker champion. That's the reason why he was a sniper. They needed to buff. They needed to re-fucking balance his arrow drop, and that was it.
They just needed a lot of things.
But I will say this now, like Blizzard doesn't know how to fucking rebalance a fucking thing.
Well, no, it's like it's going to be a couple of years before they finally figure it out, and that's the thing is like I'm sick and tired of
like if it takes a couple years to rebalance that fucking bullshit, like I don't know. I don't think it's gonna last.
But like compare that to like Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress has
How's that
done.
community?
It's toxic as fuck. It's fine.
Well, no. Team Fortress 2 isn't toxic. It's a community that has grown into what it is. And, like, for new players trying to get in, it's really tough. And I will freely admit, because I actually jumped in with one of my buddies and played online with him. And he's, like, been playing for, like, years. And, like, he immediately started fucking shitting on me. He's like, wow, look at this fucking noob. I'm like, fuck off. And like I straight up admitted to him, I was like, I can't play this game. He's like, why not? It's like this game is so established at this point that like for me to try and get in doesn't work. And he's like, that's fair. And that's the difference is what people call like a toxic community is what some people call a toxic community is a difference is it's an established community. It's Team Fortress 2 is what 12 years old now. How old is it? Team Fortress 2. I'm gonna look that up. But like it's up there. Like it's 11 years old. And like damn, it's like it's at a community that's been so established at this point, and it's still going strong. Like, how many other games can you say that? I don't think Overwatch is going to last anywhere near that long.
It might.
No, I don't think it will because of how the gameplay style is set up.
I think that what's going to eventually happen is that they're going to release.
That did not work. There we go.
Yeah. Anyways, we should move on.
Yep.
To better MOBAs.
No.
Josh,
no. I'm going to talk about this one real quick thing before we go any further because like I need to vent about this. So there's a D&D group chat I'm in, and somebody started linking a bunch of things about like I assume the audience knows about pimple popping and stuff like that. And one of the videos was mango worms, and I have become like, and this is just today, I've watched like 4 of them now, and I'm like, holy shit, dude! Like it's like I straight up will admit this, I am disgusted, but like, holy cow, man, like wow, it's like, dude, I feel so bad for these animals. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I know Jeff and Josh don't want to talk about it, but like, I legit have like, I'm enthralled by this. It's like, what do you do,
Josh?
Yeah, sorry.
Josh, have you ever watched some fucked up videos?
I think the most fucked up video I've seen that it kind of just hits you in a psychological area and never escapes from your mind is the what was it called? The Ninja Turtles dudes in duct tape. And it's like an art film and it's on YouTube. They can totally easily find. And because it's an art film, it doesn't get deleted because it's like it's art and it's blah blah blah. I'm like, no, it's like pornography almost because these terrible looking Ninja Turtles are boning each other and with giant salad dressing dongs, and they eventually get to the point of just like cutting each other apart, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then it just gets more and more weird and demented to the point of like you don't know what you're watching, and it just gets really fucking creepy. Oh, and there's no sound at all. It's probably the most creepiest thing about this entire fucking video. It's something just sticks in your head and you're like, I can't remove it. It's still there. Because it's so fucking weird and horrifying.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Maybe I can find it.
Yeah. I don't know. The worst I've seen is a guy taking apart a bunch of stuff.
Well, it depends on what kind of stuff he's taking apart.
Vacuums and stuff.
Oh, that's nothing. That's fucking tame. Like that. I
don't watch people's hand grenades. I don't watch hand grenades go off in people's hands, even though I do from time to time. I don't know. It's not as bad as when I decide that I'm going to watch all of Berserk and then cried a lot. Fuck you, Allan.
Sorry.
Is this a podcast? Are we done?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do it. Like we've only been. Yeah, this is a podcast at this point.
This is the podcast.
Well, okay. Actually, I have one thing I want to talk about real quick.
It's about how I said "fuck you."
Well, no. So There is a website I frequent, and it is a furry website. And it recently went around and decided to go for a purge of all people whose opinions are a bit more right wing. Like, in some cases, they went after actual literal Nazis, and you know what? Fine, whatever. However, I stand by the point of free speech. Now, somebody made a comment about the thing about like, well, what are you going to do about those who support Antifa? Because they are literally a terrorist organization that is like down in the States, a terrorist organization. And the mods were like, nope, doesn't matter. Don't care. They're not. That is a false equivalence. Fuck off. And then probably banned the person. And so there is now a lawsuit against this site being formulated because they have performed defamation of characters on a lot of people, and a lot of people aren't happy. And it's fucking funny because they're like, oh, wow, this is going to cost you a lot of fucking expenses just to take down this website. And the person looked at the people who fucking did this to him. And you know what he said? He's like, nah, I'm a veteran who's part of Paperus Legalis. My expenses are covered other than printing and copying. And they're like, oh. And it's like, yeah, this might cost me maybe $200. And they were like, oh. So, surprise! Free speech matters. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I find it really funny, actually.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, I guess that's just a podcast because I don't think we have anything else to talk about this week.
I'm going to boil my balls off. I don't want my children to live in this world where Thundercats looks like garbage. I'm just being sarcastic, by the way. I'm not going to boil my balls off. Thank you for listening to episode 149 of the Black Mind Podcast, which is probably going to be called Jeff is Very Sad. Jeff's a sad panda. Or something along those lines. Joining me this week was Josh, who really didn't talk this much.
No, I don't need to.
Yeah. And Allan as well. My name is Jeff. Thank you, listener, for listening to us. You can listen to us every Thursday on the blackbombgames.podbean.com. You can also listen to us on YouTube and other podcasting apps of your choosing. Have a good night. I'm sad. I'm a sad panda. Well, are you recording right now? Because if you're recording, this will be a good story. And then if Allan joins in, it doesn't matter. It's making me drink, Josh.
Oh, really? Is that a beer?
The server is making me fucking drink.
Is that a beer?
Yeah.
Delicious beer. I don't know. I know there's another thing that's pissing me off. Well, slightly.
I mean, is it the fact that there's been 22 school shootings in the United States so far?
Like today or past couple of days or past
22 school shootings. There have been 22 school shootings in the U.S. so far.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to check these facts. 2018 school.
Although I do love this website. Freemusic.org.
There's been 22 fucking school shootings in the United States. There's Santa Fe, Palm Alta. Wow. Holy shit. I'm pissed because
Because life is not good.
fuck Corsair. Because Corsair is a bunch of shit.
Yeah. Any big company is kind of a piece of shit.
Well, it's not that like they're pieces of shit. It's the fact that their products I bought. I don't know if it's a me problem. It's probably a me problem. Let's say it's a Jeff problem, because it's probably a Jeff problem, because you know for a fact that there are going to be 18 comments on the show saying that Jeff is wrong and Corsair's great and everyone sucks. And because Jeff said Corsair sucks, I'm no longer going to listen to the show because Corsair is the best.
I think you're shooting a little high for 18 comments. I mean, 2 comments.
There will be 2 comments saying that Corsair is great, everyone that Jeff sucks, and thus I'm boycotting the podcast until Jeff eventually leaves. Only to come back when Jeff comes back.
Then I go, who the fuck are these 2 people?
No, I bought an AIO and it's dead. Like, my motherboard has literally stopped recognizing it. It literally goes like, there's something wrong here. It knows that there's something connected. And like, I literally unplugged it and plugged in 2 fans and it went like, oh, there's 2 fans plugged in. But the AIO is not recognizing. So I'm going to take it to Memory Express and yell at them.
Hello.
And they go, and they're just going to go, bro, calm down.
Hi. I am sorry for being late, even though it was expected.
It's always expected with you to be late.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're just kind of like just timing it on you being late.
To be fair, like I'm always the late one.
No, you're not.
Okay. Anyways, are you recording right now, Allan?
Yes, I am.
Okay, were you recording through that entire rage fest of Jeff screaming and going boom?
Yes, but the thing is I wasn't here.
That's
good.
fine. That's fine.
You didn't hear me yelling, screaming, and crying about Corsair and Corsair
Nope.
sucking.
Nope.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Good. I don't have any topics this week.
I don't have any topics
I don't-
either, except for the fact that I found a YouTube video that
I don't have any topics.
Post that I like.
Your YouTube videos are usually super like divisive and stuff like that.
Okay. So this guy does. You know how like there's the pimple poppers online?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So this guy's a veterinarian in like an African country, and he deals with mango worms. And it's like I can't look away. I'm like, this is disgusting, but like, holy shit, this is also really cool to look at.
Mango worms.
If you want, I will link you one video. Okay. Do you want it? It will be linked directly to you. It will not be
Hold
put in
on,
the
No. No.
I found
I don't
400
want
mega
it.
worms in a patch.
Oh
It's
yeah,
talking
that's
about-
another. That's yeah.
Oh man, that's like ooh, wow. Oh boy, good thing I don't live in Africa, huh? Oh,
I mean, the only Africa that I actually kind of like is Toto Africa. Another Africa just makes me really sad and depressed at how stupid humanity can be.
God damn it! I'm going back to the worms. Freaking, what was it? There was a video, I think it was shown on like CBC or something. I think it was on anyway, talking about a dog that was, one of like, oh, this dog was left by his owners on a road. It was like, and that sucks. And people found him and got him cleaned up and everything. But it turns out like this dog had so many fleas. Like so many fleas to the point that like he had to get an emergency blood transfusion. Like
Yep.
it looked like dirt was rubbing off of him, but it's like no, those were fleas. You're like, whoa,
Yep.
that's a lot of fleas.
Hey Josh. Here's one that will make you a little bit sad.
Oh no. Ugh.
No, wait. Wait till you see how small the dog is.
And the
I
dog
can't
is
actually like I only just discovered these today and like I'm like what the fuck? I'm enthralled by this and I know I shouldn't be because like holy shit, dude.
oh, there's something wrong with you, something wrong with me.
Well, no, like it's a satisfaction thing because you're like, oh, this is disgusting, and then you see like how like it finishes, and you're like, that's so satisfying, and it's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird, sympathetic getting over of a weird nuisance.
I just realized Thundercats is coming back. I'm really sad.
Did you see what it looks like?
What does it look like?
Okay, it's like a fucking cheap knockoff Gumball.
It looks
It looks horrible.
It does look like a cheap knockoff
it
gumball.
looks like two shits had a baby, and those two shits.
It's the
Okay,
new
here's the thing. Here's the
Thundercats.
thing. Well, actually, no. Here's the thing about Gumball. Gumball is actually a fantastic show. It has
it is.
like
Yes.
spot on humor. It has quick and actually surprisingly witty humor. And it's just like, what the fuck? And there's so many adult jokes in it too. You're like, why have I not heard of this show before?
Yeah, but do you want that, or do you want He-Man 2000s?
I want He-Man 2000s and I want 2011 Thundercats. Because I didn't realize Thundercats got rebooted back in 2012. And
Are you
I'm really
serious?
frustrated because I'm like, yeah, no, it had, like I will like it looks fucking gorgeous. Like there's the 2000s He-Man. 2012 Thunder.
That's like how Voltron got
Voltron got rebooted.
that looks
and
better.
Are you looking at the Thundercats?
This looks like some cheap okay. Listener, I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
let's start
this,
this.
and then you're gonna go like, well,
no. Let's start the podcast and we'll start from there.
okay. Sync in 3, 2, 1.